Canadian music info by local area. Chapter 1. Canada has many local and regional music communities. Canada Music Magazines at cully.org/en/regional/north_America/Canada/arts_and_magazines_e-zines. 33mag.com, 33mtl Point. A Montreal-based electronic magazine featuring urban music and culture, updated every week. AtlanticSeaBreeze.com, Atlantic Sea Breeze. Features Celtic, East Coast and country music through artist profiles, event listings, news and album reviews. CanadianBands.com, Canadian Bands. Offers a small selection of reviews, interviews and links. NocturnalMagazine.net, Nocturnal. Toronto-based rave culture magazine with event calendar, event and music reviews, photos, music samples, charts and links. NOR.com, Norris Whitney Communications. Publisher of 4 prominent magazines, including Canadian Music Trade, Professional Lighting and Professional Sound. Soulshine.ca, Soulshine. Canadian guide to new music filled with the latest news, features, reviews, gig listings and indie radio. Canada Music Education websites at cully.org/en/regional/north_America/Canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/education. Subcategories: Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario. BeethovenAtHome.com, Beethoven at Home School of Music. Music teachers providing lessons in the Vancouver, BC area and the Toronto, On area. CanadianChildren'sOpera.com, Canadian Children's Opera Company. A non-profit organization to empower young people from diverse communities and abilities with music education and professional performance opportunities. OrfCanada.ca, Carl Orff Canada. Holistic music education program for children based on the pedagogical philosophy of Carl Orff. SciMC.ca, Comox Valley Youth Music Center. Offers an annual summer music school and festival, and provides instructor profiles, accommodation and registration details, and background information. GuitarWorkshopPlus.com, Guitar Workshop Plus. Offers courses in guitar, bass, drums, and keyboards, information about courses, venues, tutors, and cost. AcademyDeMontreal.com, Montreal Academy of Music. Offers training in voice and a variety of musical instruments from qualified instructors in the Montreal area. MusicProfs.ca, MusicProfs.ca. An online database of private music instructors in Canada searchable by postal code. Canada Music by province or territory at cully.org/en/regional/north_America/Canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/by_or_province_territory. Click a province or territory. Ontario music categories for websites at cully.org/en/regional/north_America/Canada/Ontario/arts_and_entertainment/music. Subcategories: Belleville, Brantford, Brockville, Guelph, Hamilton, Kingston, Kitchener-Waterloo, London, Markham, Oakville, Ottawa, Peterborough, Sudbury, Toronto, Windsor. Bands and artists, clubs and venues, DJs, education, orchestras. Ontario music websites at cully.org/en/regional/north_America/Canada/arts_and_entertainment/music. OntarioSings.com, Barbershop Harmony Society, Ontario District. One district of the Barbershop Harmony Society, the world's largest all-male a cappella singing organization, the only all-Canadian district. QuirsOntario.org, Choirs Ontario. An arts service organization promoting choral activities and standards of excellence. FolkMusicOntario.org, Folk Music Ontario. Supporting the development and growth of folk music in Ontario. LeagueOfRock.com, League of Rock. Programs include music-based team-building events and music leagues for non-pro musicians stuck in the basement and who have nobody to jam with. Based in Toronto and Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. music-ontario.ca, Music Ontario. Nurtures, elevates, and empowers emerging companies and artists in Ontario's independent music sector. NYOC.org, National Youth Orchestra of Canada. A non-profit organization devoted to discovering and training young Canadian symphony orchestra musicians. Ontario Classical Association.ca, Ontario Classical Association. A society dedicated to the promotion of classical studies in the Canadian province of Ontario, founded in 1944. OCOM.ca, Ontario Conservatory of Music. Provide its students with an environment for successful musical learning experiences. OJER.ca, Ontario Guild of English Handbell Ringers. A guide to handbell ringers and activities in Ontario, Canada. OMFA.ca, Ontario Music Festivals Association. Learn about member festivals, provincials, and the team behind OMFA. CanadianMusicians.coop, Ontario Musicians Cooperative. Membership-based arts service organization assisting independent artists build sustainable careers intersecting the music industry. ShareTheShock.ca, Share the Shock. Zine about bands and music in Ontario, available online. Toronto Music website categories at cali.org/en/regional/north_america/Canada/Ontario/arts_and_entertainment/music. Subcategories: bands and artists, choirs and choruses, DJs, education, jazz, opera, orchestras, piano tuning, radio, recording studios, rehearsal space. Toronto Music websites at cali.org/en/regional/north_america/Canada/Ontario/localities/t/Toronto/arts_and_entertainment/music. Facebook.com/Canadian-accordion-club-106049659467593, Canadian Accordion Club. Toronto. cbc.ca/Glenn Gould Studio, Glenn Gould Studio Concert Hall. The CBC's 341-seat concert hall in the heart of Toronto. Classical, jazz and spoken word concerts. Guitar Society of Toronto.com, the Guitar Society of Toronto. MasseyHall.mhrth.com, Massey Hall. Upcoming performances, seating plans and tickets. MegaCityHipHop.com. Hip Hop in Toronto. MusicGallery.org, the Music Gallery. Not-for-profit center for the creation and performance of new music and music-related arts in Toronto. music-toronto.com, Music Toronto. An independent, non-profit organization presenting a series of chamber and contemporary concerts. MusicWithoutBorder.com, Music Without Borders. A fundraising campaign for Doctors Without Borders. Concerts with music from around the world played by people from around the world. NewMusicConcerts.com, New Music Concerts. Promotes interest in the art of music and contemporary music in particular, at several venues in Toronto. OffCenterMusic.com, Off-Center Music. Provides an environment to play and hear vocal, chamber and solo musical repertoire in an atmosphere that evokes a 19th-century European salon. OpenTuningFestival.wordpress.com, Open Tuning Festival. A free music festival in Toronto's Seton Village. OPTIMISTS-ALUMNI.org, Optimists Alumni Association. Alumni Association for former members of the Toronto Optimists and Seneca Optimists Drum and Bugle Corps. ReggaeMania.com, Reggae Mania. Reggae and dance hall site operated by DJ Ron Nelson. Reggae and dancehall event listings for the Greater Toronto Area. Shevchenkomusic.com, Shevchenko Musical Ensemble. A multicultural song and dance ensemble comprised of a mandolin orchestra, mixed choir, and folk dance troupe. Also sponsors the Shevchenko School of Performing Arts for Young People. Soundlist.ca, Soundlist. Website and email list for announcements of experimental music, free improvisation, and sound art events in the Toronto area. TorontoBluesSociety.com, Toronto Blues Society. Facebook.com/Toronto Jungle, Toronto Jungle. E-zine featuring interview, photos, and videos of DJs and producers in Toronto and around the world. trytych.org, TRYPTYCH Productions. Producers of vocal theatre who present concerts, music festivals, theatre, and opera featuring the best of Canadian vocal talent. Undergroundsounds.ca, Underground Sounds. The Toronto Transit Commission's Subway Musicians Program. Wavelengthmusic.ca, Wavelength. A weekly live music series and monthly zine based in Toronto. Thuholinote.com, The Wolinote Magazine. Publication featuring music and musical events in the Greater Toronto Area, classical and new. Winterfolk.com, Winterfolk. Roots, blues, and folk music festival held annually at venues in Toronto. Features an amateur showcase. WMCT.on.ca, Women's Musical Club of Toronto. Hosts an annual series of 5 concerts, a blend of solo and recital chamber music.